Jennings is no tough guy, okay? And he did work for the Bush administration as it lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. So his track record is as stated. But let's be honest. He's paid to do this. He is the draw on that show. It's not the host. You can't even name any of the other people on it. Isn't this what people say they want?
Smash that like button, subscribe, and share. Scott Jennings loses it after being confronted with facts by progressive host Adam Mockler. We're diving into clips from Chris Cuomo's discussion with Geraldo Rivera and Chris Sununu. I'll break down where they got it right and where they missed the mark. Let's jump in.
Between 48-year-old CNN conservative contributor Scott Jennings and 23-year-old progressive podcaster Adam Mockler is a metaphor for what passes as political debate in the hellscape that we are in.
We all know that Scott Jennings is more than happy to defend a war with a country that starts with the letters IRA that we are currently failing, that is going to put us trillions and trillions of dollars more in debt. I was only a few years old while you were in the administration defending prior endless wars. Now this war is failing.
8 weeks is endless to you?
Okay, you said it was going to be 4 to 6 weeks.
You have the attention span of a net?
I debated you on TV 4 to 6 weeks ago and you said we were weeks away from it. Now you're making condescending remarks because you can't defend the fact that this war is not going your way. Wait, one more time.
Not going your way.
Name one political concession. Name one political concession.
Honestly, I'm not going to have this guy's in my face.
Everybody, hang tight,
Honestly.
Okay? No, everybody calm down.
What a joke. I mean, it's just... Jennings is no tough guy, okay? And he did work for the Bush administration as it lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. So his track record is as stated. But let's be honest. He's paid to do this. He is the draw on that show. It's not the host. You can't even name any of the other people on it. Isn't this what people say they want? Millions of clicks, millions of views. Joining me now, News Nation's correspondent at large, Geraldo Rivera, who was sitting at the table when it happened, and former governor of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu, who was once called a dick by CNN's Anderson Cooper, and no one argued it wasn't accurate, but it wasn't nice. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Chris, Geraldo, we are all among friends, and look, both of you know, I can get hot. I would never treat anybody. You'd never see that here. You'd never see me allow it here because I know how destructive it is to the decorum. But Geraldo, you were there. What was your read?
I was right there. Well, you know, it came out of nowhere. I don't have close relationships with Scott Jennings. I just run into him time to time. And the kid I never met before. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't so much the physicality of it as it was Scott coming back and saying, get that effing finger out of my face. I said, whoa, Dusty would never allow that. She'd beat the hell out of that baby. So it was kind of stunning to see the interaction, the violence of it. What was the kid saying? Not much. He was kind of a smarty pants podcaster. I think you identify him very accurately. One of the 20-something podcasters. Scott, though, is a veteran. And Scott really seemed spontaneously to lose his temper with the kid. If there were blows thrown, I would have done something about it. But it just was, to me, it seemed natural. It did not seem feigned at all. It seemed sincere. If profane with the F word, and I think that's a big change in our business. How people now
tell you what.
Say bullshit on a regular basis.
Yeah, look, I mean, the words aren't what have the power. It's the emotions behind them. Chris, right? I mean, I saw the thing, Governor, with you and Anderson. Anderson's a good guy. Okay, I don't know where that was coming from. I've never heard him do anything like that before. He apologized. You were really nice about it. Sure. But I also think that Anderson Cooper and Chris Sununu, you are not what they want these days. They want this, okay? This is what the people want on social media, and this is what the algorithms reward. I do not think Scott Jennings is blind to that. If it were 6 years ago and he was sitting next to me, I guarantee you he wouldn't have said that for two reasons. One, who was sitting next to him, and two, it was not rewarded then.
Yeah, look, I mean, I like Scott. I think he does a good job on that show for the most part. He's sometimes like 4 against 1, but he lost his cool, and you can't do that. Everyone knows that. He lost his cool. But look, for me, when I saw this, and I think both of you can relate, this is like the epitome of annoying little brother energy. Some 23-year-old kid who's never done anything, just poking and poking and poking. And I know, Chris, you've been there because you've done the poking to Andrew. That's right. And don't tell me, Geraldo, that you didn't put Craig in a couple headlocks in your game too, right?
Yeah, so and he'd hit him.
You keep it in the phone.
Hold on, Chris. But Chris, you're a younger brother too. I got hit.
That's right.
Geraldo hit and got hit. You got hit. That is a different vibe. This is, I say mean, angry things, but I'm not going to do anything. It's performative. That's my problem with it, Geraldo,
you gotta keep
is that
cool.
I don't think it's organic. I think he's losing his cool because it's okay to do so.
But the kid was a dick. I mean, he really smart, eloquent, had his argument together.
Smash like, subscribe, and share. Here's where I pause. Geraldo says Adam Mockler was out of line, but all Adam really did was present facts, and Scott Jennings couldn't handle it. If you watch the full segment, I covered it in another video. Jennings throws jabs, mocking Adam's age, making snide remarks, and coming off condescending, which Adam calls out directly. This is a pattern. Jennings, and others like him, tend to rely on sarcasm, smirks, and cheap shots instead of substance. Then the moment someone pushes back with facts, it suddenly becomes outrage. That's not a balanced exchange. Adam stayed calm and focused the whole time. So this isn't a both sides situation like Cuomo and the others suggest. It's one side sticking to facts and the other struggling to respond.
Is being lost right now. I believe the majority wants it. I believe the majority wants somebody who shows their character by how they react. Geraldo, you have never meant more to the country than you have, I'd say, in the last 7, 8 years with your perspective, your calm, your poise. You've seen it all. You've been through it all. Nothing rattles you. There is something in that we're missing in moments like this, and they're doing it on purpose, brother. That's my concern, Chris. What makes it better?
It's terrible. No, it's terrible, but it's not going away. I mean, that's the most frustrating part.
No way.
Is that it's about the clicks, it's about clickbait, it's about headlines, this is the epitome of populism, and it's even worse when you go to Capitol Hill and you see both sides of the extremes doing it on Capitol Hill. Congressional hearings are less about what's being discussed and more about the clicks and the feed. So it's bad enough to see it at 10 p.m. on CNN. It's awful to see it on Capitol Hill.
It's the highest rated show.
I hear that. I hear that, and you know, Governor, I take you at your word. You're a very sincere man, but there was a freshness about it. I thought, that kid never expected that kind of old man to respond in the way Scott Jennings responded, and I don't know that Scott knew that he didn't premeditate.
I don't think that's true, what Geraldo is saying there. I think Adam Mockler knew to expect it because he knows that Scott Jennings is a bitch and a wannabe tough guy and a bully. Adam Mockler has dealt with this clown before, and Adam Mockler was ready for it.
It was just like the kind of thing, now, I know, Chris, in your life, Chris Cuomo, I know in your life, you have been in situations where you have been magnificent in your restraint. I mean, people don't realize because you sit behind a desk, you're a giant of a man. I mean, you're big, you're built, it wasn't that.
Look at those forearms,
this
for
wasn't
God's
that.
sakes, he's got the sleeves pulled up.
Of a Java man. Yeah, it's all true.
This wasn't that. This was just, a kid went one step too far. The elder statesman says, hey, and I don't think he premeditated, just, had the reaction, get that hand out of my face. And I've said that a million times in my life. Get that effing hand out of my face.
But you wouldn't say it now because you've never seen since the 60s.
Now I'm 83 years old.
People are killing people. They are shooting people out of political extremism. Sure. We are seeing it in a way we have not seen it. I'm not saying it is caused by what we are talking about, but it is correlated to what we are talking about. If the left doesn't want to own it, that's on them. But the extreme talk is manifesting itself against a unique agitator in President Trump, okay? And the right, we've seen it for years, and we see it in the president. I am worried we are not even close to the worst we're going to see, Geraldo. That's why I police this stuff. And by the way, I violate my own rule. I know. And I try.
You are the epitome of restraint in your years as an anchorman now. You flew up the handle as a younger person, perhaps, but I remember when I had the infamous skinhead brawl with in my studio with the racist skinheads, and they broke my nose and all that. It was all. Yeah, I never got more congratulations from the way to go. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's it. High five. It was the way this. Next time, and mm-hmm. But this was not hateful. This was an annoyed grown up with a bratty smart kid.
But you know what the difference was, Chris? And I'll give you the last word on this. Geraldo fought against real Nazis. Now we just call whoever we disagree with Nazis, and that's my concern.
It's true.
Yeah, it's out of control. And look, I'll go back to the number one rule in when you're in the public sphere, you don't punch down. Right? You don't. I mean, he took the bait. Scott absolutely took the bait from that kid and forgot that rule of you don't punch down. He should have just ignored it and moved on. But to your point, it is getting more violent. It is getting more extreme. And that's getting normalized. And that's not the way it should be. I think I'm different. I think it gets better over time. I really do. I'm an eternal optimist. Because if I thought differently, then God help us for the next 30 years. But I am optimistic that over time, this actually can get better. We haven't learned. We invented social media, but we don't have the maturity to understand how to use it properly. And I think the hope is that the next generation actually develops into that because they actually grew up with it.
Okay. So I'm ending on this, Geraldo. He's saying he's going to run. He's not saying when, but he's saying he's going to run and that he's going to make it better. You just heard it here, Geraldo.
Smash like, subscribe, and share. All right, let's clear this up. Adam Mockler never called Scott Jennings a Nazi or insulted him. He just stuck to the facts. The both sides argument being pushed here doesn't really hold up. Adam stayed calm, professional, and didn't take the bait, even while Jennings kept throwing snide remarks and acting condescending. This is what people say they want on TV: facts, composure, and respect, and that's exactly how Adam handled it. Jennings, on the other hand, leaned into sarcasm and attitude like usual, but struggled when faced with someone who wouldn't be rattled. That's the real takeaway. When you respond with facts and stay composed, it exposes the difference. Adam did that, and it clearly got under Jennings' skin. What do you think? Was this really a both sides situation, or was one side clearly in the wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.